It is Wednesday in the year of the plague 2020. So glad you are with me this morning. I'm inside the Beltway, where it'll be another steamy day. Inside the Beltway, the big story of the day is it's a continual fight to stop a chop. To stop a chop. The anarchists and others continually try and build their version of Seattle's, quote, autonomous zone, close quote, in the Lafayette Park region of the city across from the White House, and the police continually take it down. As of 2:41 a.m. last night, it had been cleared out again. Understand, that's not going to happen in D.C. That's not going to happen across from the White House under either a Republican or a Democratic president. We're not going to allow the security threat to the presidency of the United States to occur of a massive buildings and lawless zone. It's just not going to happen. But there was no violence last night. The ragtag bag of chopsters get chopped down by the police and ushered away, and then they come back because, after all, why go to work? President Trump went to Arizona yesterday. The rundown will play for you some of his comments both at the border and at the Charlie Kirk event later in the evening. The key thing in D.C. today is it appears that Senate Democrats are going to block a police reform bill in the Senate because it's authored by Tim Scott, and they'd rather have no police reform than a bill authored by an African-American Republican. There are not much differences between the bill. The Senate GOP plan incorporates a number of Democratic proposals, such as legislation to make lynching a federal hate crime. That's not really a Democratic proposal. It's been pushed by Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, who is a Republican, of course, African-American, Senator Kamala Harris, and Senator Booker. It pushes a National Police Commission, which is indeed the brainchild of Gary Peters, a Democrat from New York. But there are some differences on the degree to which a federal mandate would alter practices at police departments across the country. And there is a fundamental difference in banning no-knock warrants. However, the House is going to ban all no-knock warrants. So if the Senate moves its bill forward, they'll go to a conference and figure something out. I don't believe this is going to get out of the Senate for the simple reason Senate Democrats do not want Tim Scott, African-American senator from South Carolina and a Republican, to get the win. They are putting politics ahead of police reform. So just when you hear the Democrats next talk about police reform, understand they're lying. They don't care about it. They really don't care about it. If they did care about it, you would get 60 votes like that in the United States Senate for Tim Scott's bill. And the Republicans are in control of the chamber. They do not have to accept the wild left-wing point of view that is put forward by Kamala Harris. It is up to them to decide, and Democrats can block it, and they are going to block it. Great article in the Wall Street Journal today on homicide in Seattle's no-cop zone. I've tweeted it out. You should be following me on Twitter. By the way, this show is broadcast live on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, type in my name, and you'll see it. The Justice Department and state attorney generals are conferring on getting Google into court on antitrust charges. Good. It's about time. Now to the virus. We have 9.1 million cases across the country, across the globe. 9.1 million cases. Seoul, Korea is the latest place for a second wave, but according to the Wall Street Journal, the global economy shows signs of pulling out of its slump. That leads me to the morning markets report brought to you, of course, by Birch Gold. To get your gold, you go to hughgold.com, hughgold.com, and you should diversify. I feel bad every morning I tell you about this. If you had texted my name, Hugh, to 474747 yesterday, you'd be happy today because gold went up almost 0.75% overnight. It's at $17.95. It's now up about $400. Since I first told you, you really ought to diversify into gold during this period of uncertainty, and I continue to tell you that. Birch Gold will help you diversify, but you've got to go to hughgold.com first or text my name, Hugh, to 474747. Overnight, the Japan index went down 0.07%, and the Hong Kong index went down 0.5%. Markets in England and Germany late into the day are down 2.5% and 2.25% respectively. Crude oil's down a little bit below 40 at 39.84, still way off of the lows of $17 and $16. The 10-year Treasury remains at 0.71%. I have no idea what stocks are going to do today. Yesterday I had no idea, but In fact, Amazon went up $50 a share yesterday. And it's the only stock I own. I keep looking at it in amazement. $50.59 to $2,764 a share. Some analysts say it's a $4,000 stock. I don't know. I don't do stock picking, but I do read here Brazil e-commerce jumps 57% in the first 5 months of 2020. Why is that? Because South America is now experiencing what North America experienced 3 months ago, which is the peak of the flu. They're in their flu season, and it's really crushing Brazil, so people are staying inside, and the number of online orders grows 65% in 3 categories: cosmetics and perfumes, furniture, and electronics. Isn't that amazing? 65% in 1 quarter. From the Wall Street Journal, global economy shows signs of pulling out of its slump. That is primarily because it's a North American economy. But also in the New York Times, virus gains steam across Latin America. In Mexico especially, the pandemic has now infected more than 460,000 people, and they don't have great testing in Mexico. And so more tests means more positives and more negatives, and we know we have a better handle on the disease in the United States than anywhere in the world because we have by far the most tests. But all across the globe, the virus is everywhere. It's taking its mortality of between 2 and 5% everywhere, and it's going to continue to do so. But the global economy is adjusting and rebounding. The Telegraph today has Boris Johnson, bold, punchy, optimistic. The old Boris Johnson is back at last. He has totally recovered from the pandemic. That is good news. Here is Donald Trump in Yuma yesterday talking about the fence. He's standing in front of the fence, and this is what he had to say, cut number 7.
And I'm thrilled to be in Yuma, Arizona. They've treated me very nicely in Arizona, so we're very happy about that, Mr. Governor, right? To commemorate the completion of more than 200 miles of powerful border wall. We're on pace to complete 450 miles by the end of the year and 500 miles almost immediately thereafter. We may even have the 500 miles by the end of the year. We're doing a real job. The Army Corps of Engineers, I want to thank them. They've been incredible. This is the most powerful and comprehensive border wall structure anywhere in the world. It's got technology that nobody would even believe, between sensors and cameras and everything else. With us today, our Acting Secretary of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf, who has done a fantastic job. Thank you, Chad.
And it was an impressive display down there. Doug Ducey is a great governor of Arizona. I believe Trump's going to carry Arizona. I think Martha McSally is going to be the next senator. She's doing better and better every single day. But the president also had a message for those impacted by DACA, cut number 11.
Well, we're looking at it. We'll work it out with DACA. I think good things are happening with DACA. They resubmit, but we'll work it out. And the Democrats have been playing with DACA for years, and they haven't done anything. I'll get it done. I'll get it done. And good things will happen for DACA recipients, and pretty soon.
Is there a message?
Good things are going to happen for DACA recipients. One more cut. He did get in a jab at Biden, cut number 9.
So I just want to thank everyone, the Biden people, and he's controlled totally by the radical left, as you understand. He's not controlling it. They're controlling him. They want open borders. They want criminal sanctuaries. They want everything that doesn't work. I don't even think it works politically, frankly, at this point. People see what happened. You'll take a look at what's happening in Seattle, or take a look. Minnesota, such a great state, but you look at Minneapolis and you see what happened there until we sent in the National Guard. We said, you got to do it. As soon as they were there, boom, shut down. All the problems they had shut down. You didn't hear about them.
But the president is going to run on is not against Joe Biden because he's hapless figurehead, but against the radical left behind him. The radical left, by the way, has beaten Elliot Engel in New York. They're slow to declare it, but a longtime Democratic dinosaur tossed out by another member of the AOC squad. As the Democratic Party continues to lurch left, more coming up on this Wednesday edition of The Hugh Hewitt Show. Stay tuned.